friends, this is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and today is the day that Grand Arena 3x3 is going live. Now, it is going live just in the preview form, but it is still going live. Now, there's a lot of things that you need to remember between now and the 27th when the event finishes up. And I want to go over a few of those things. Definitely, I want to talk about the whole 3x3 concept. I'm really excited about what it opens up, what potential it is allowing. I'm just really excited about it. First and foremost, guys, they've gone ahead and they've given us everything that they're telling us what we're going to be looking at. This is a character-only event, so there won't be ships involved, just characters, right? There's going to be 4 territories on each side, so it's going to look probably very similar to the map that we saw before. 3 characters per squad, the same banner scoring as before. Now, what is different is we have updated rewards. What I'm very excited about is rank 1 is going to be getting 3 Zeta materials. Rank 2, 3, and 4 will be getting 2. Rank 5 and 7 will be getting 1. And rank 8 will be getting 0. So I've got to say to all of you guys out there who are just like, you know what, this is just one more event that I'm not excited about, I don't want to play. At least try. At least try, because can you really say no to a Zeta? And as long as you don't end up in that last place, you're going to get at least 1 Zeta mat. So make sure, put in your defense, give it a shot, you know, and if you lose, you lose. But you might not, especially considering the other player might not even put in his best team. Or it might autofill the wrong team or a crappy team, or, you know, from what I understand, the autofill function that was pulled at the end of the last version is the same auto suggest for mods. So it's not going to suggest the best mods. It's going to try, but it's AI. And until the rise of the machines happens, my friends, AI is still not great. Now, it's games like this that do make me worry just a teensy bit that we're helping out essentially Terminators come to pass. But that's not the point of this video. This video is at least give it a shot, because you're going to get some Zetas out of it, right? And so what if, you know, the downfall of humanity happens? Doesn't matter. Zetas. Additionally, guys, you're going to be getting 3 Omegas, 2 Omegas, 1 Omega, 0, again, on that same scale. MK1 capacitors, MK1 amplifiers, 70, 50, 35, 25. And it looks like the same, you know, the same level of the other ones. There's a lot of, they're changing the rewards. I know that people are frustrated. Cubs Fan Han made a video about it. It's free stuff. Even if you show up and you suck, it's free stuff. And I like the new challenge. I saw this in a post earlier today. Someone equated this, or, you know, said that this new game mode is very much like Risk, where you have to decide who to go after and how to, and it isn't as an aficionado of Risk. I downloaded it on my phone. It's freaking awesome. Now I can play Risk whenever the hell I want to, and it's fun. I love Risk. I spent like 2 years playing Risk like every Monday. It was ridiculous. I love it. I love the strategy game. Love Hasbro for it. Whatever. I love Risk. I like the aspect of this. I like the strategy. I like that it's one-on-one instead of a whole guild trying to figure out how best to do it. Don't get me wrong. I love territory wars. I love territory battles. I love the coordination. But this is just me versus one other player. And if I suck, I suck. That's on me. That's on no one else. I love that strategic aspect. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about strategy here. We've got 4 different places where we can put characters, defense, and offense. Now, I've been thinking about this. 3x3 equals math that I don't want to do. But what's interesting here is how you can set this up. Now, my thought is You could put your best defensive teams on one side, right? Or you have them right up at the front. You know, have 4 defensive teams. That's 12 great defensive 3x3 characters, right? Or 3x3 teams. Very possible. Or, and this is what I think would be fun, have some fairly moderate 3x3 teams, right? These are your B teams. These are your, I don't know, like your Wigs with Stormtrooper Han. These are your Rogue One, Jyn Erso with the Chase back and forth, right? They're solid teams. It's a solid defensive team, but then as soon as they get mowed down, have like 2 auto cannons, right? Have your CLS, your OG Han, your Raid Han, and Chewbacca right there behind him. And so all of a sudden, they mow down your weaker teams. But to get the weaker teams mowed down, they have to have solid teams to mow over them, right? Then they have to decide whether or not they're going to put in, then they've got to decide who they're going to use. I think it's interesting. And I think that's what I'm going to do. B teams up front, A team in the back. Then, either on the top or the bottom, whichever I decide, have my strongest defensive teams right there, right? This would where, if I had a Revan, this would be where I put my Revan. This will be where, I put an old Ben with Yoda and H Yoda. I don't know. Remember, guys, strategy is very important. And one of the most important things that you need to do is you need to look at your opponents, right? You're going to be matched up with people very similar to you. They may have, or at least with a similar galactic power as you have, they may have a ton of first level meta characters, but the rest of their roster might not be the best. You originally in that preview phase, you're not going to know who you're going to be going up against. So it's important to go through and look at all of the characters. Now, the way to do that is you jump onto this main screen, you come over here in the bottom left-hand corner, you click on this guy here. That will bring up your opponents. Your opponent list, this is all the people who have logged in, who are going to be playing. You can click on their individual rosters. Now, you can also take that to SWGOH.gg and actually look them up and figure out just where their strengths lie. And based off that, you can definitely create a game plan to move forward. If you are an in-game player, you're level 85, you've got some solid characters to use. You've got some solid tunes at your disposal. If you're an end-game player who's level 85 but still have a weaker roster, this is going to be a great tool for you to use to be able to just plan ahead. And I really think it's important to do that. I think it's important to look at your opponent. Even if you don't know what your opponent is doing now, even if you don't know who your opponent is, it's important to look at all of your competition, because all of these people might be someone that you go up against, and you're going to need to figure it out. Now, next, I think, and this is just important, I think it's a solid piece of advice, record your gameplay, guys. Professional athletes do this. Businesses do this. They record what they've done and then take a look back at it. What you need to do, record your gameplay footage. Maybe instead of playing it at 4 times speed, play it at 2 times speed, which is faster than 1 times speed. 1 times speed is like going back now and doing that. It is painful to watch. Painful to watch. But go back at 2 times speed, see where you made mistakes. See where the AI made mistakes. Write it down. Take notes. I know that that's more work than most people are willing to put in for a game, but because it is more work than most people are willing to put in for a game, if you do it, you're going to have an advantage. It might only be a slight advantage, but it'll help you better understand your gameplay. It'll help you better understand your tactics, and the tactics done by the AI. Now, especially since a lot of us have never done this before, a 3-on-3, that is a totally different dynamic. And it's new, and there's a lot that can be done with it, and I'm very excited. But keep in mind that if you're not reviewing yourself, if you're not reviewing your own work, you might make some mistakes that you could have avoided. You know, same thing with finding out what teams work best against which teams. Now, I was going through Reddit today and I found this great chart. I love infographics. I think they're wonderful. I think they help a lot of people understand a lot of different aspects of things that you normally wouldn't think about. And it puts thoughts into paper in an image, and it's great. I freaking love it. Now, this is a Grand Arena. This is Goodnight Punk's 3 versus 3 team ideas. Now, a lot of these are very solid, and they're things that I've mentioned because I've seen people talk about this stuff. I've seen people talk about what are great squads, what are some maybe weaker squads. If you are wondering about which is going to be a solid squad for you, look at this and kind of compare your roster. What are some good teams that you think would be great? What are some good teams that you think would be not so great? Now, my last tip, guys, is try it out. Before the actual event, go through on some of the light side or dark side battles, or even both, because obviously you'll be playing both light side and dark side, even in the Cantina battles, and try out a harder node with just 3 characters and see how you do. And by doing that, I really think you might get an edge. As simple as it might be, as you're just doing your dailies, instead of hitting that sim button, give it a shot, try it out, and see if this works for you. See which teams combine the best, which teams work best together. Is Asajj Ventress with Old Daka and Zombie going to be the best? Are you going to want to take Zombie out and put in, I don't know, Acolyte or Talia or whoever? Check it out. Try it out and figure it out. Most importantly, test it out. Before you go into the Grand Arena, run through some of these teams, especially if you're not familiar with a certain set of mechanics. That is the most important piece of advice that I can give you as a player, that I can give you as a researcher. This is the stuff that I've come across, and this is the stuff that I really think will help you in the end. Now, with that, guys, this event will run through the 27th. There's a lot of really cool rewards on the table. And this is still, season 0 of this event? So, give EA, give Capital Games, tweet at them, follow them on Instagram, follow them on Twitter, go to their Facebook page, go to the forum, and make your voice heard. Tell them your feedback. Let them know about your experience. If your experience sucked, tell them. Guys, there is no way that their quality assurance team can handle the torrent of potential problems. I mean, we see that every time there's a new character released. We as a community are able to identify issues that they couldn't even comprehend. That's just the way that it works. We put way more man hours than they can. And that's not anything against EA. That's just, logistics. They can't put that much in, that much time power and that much manpower into it. So, give them your feedback. Communicate with them. They are a pretty good group to be communicated at. They're not always the best to communicate with us, but they do listen, and that's the important part, guys. These are just the tips that I've wanted to provide for you guys. Let me know what you think. How are you preparing for this 3x3 arena? Do you think that any of these teams from the Shattered Order feed, from Goodnight Punk's ideas, are you going to use any of them? Do you like the ideas? Do you not like the ideas? How would you change around some of the ideas that are here? Leave a comment in the section below. Like, subscribe, share. Visit us on Discord. Join us on Discord. The conversation is always going. Let me know what you think. Check us out on goingnerdy.com. If you feel so inclined to support the channel, there's links in the section below. This has been Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and as always, my friends, stay nerdy.